Liberty Holdings is a wealth management group, and it was established by Donald Gordon and currently is active in life and health related insurance, investment management and retirement products. Liberty has a market cap of 29 billion rand, a price to earnings ratio of 8.4 and a dividend yield of 5%. This one lagging the others and a very flat share price.
The graph looks a bit funny because remember a couple of years ago there used to be Liberty Holdings and then there was Liberty Life, and then they did like a kind of a move where they reversed the two. The reason being is they wanted the operational entity, the insurer, the regulated insurer, to be the wholly owned subsidiary and the financial services holding company. So I think that's what that is.
That doesn't matter, but I mean, it's flat from 2009 through to 2012.
If you excluded this piece, then the graph would look more meaningful. But it hasn't done as well as Sanlam. That's all you need to know.
All right, so Jean-Pierre, let's get the lowdown.
So embedded value will probably come in at the end of December at close to 110 Rand a share. So trading at a 5 to 8% discount to embedded value. So that firstly means there could be some value here, but you still want at least an average return on embedded value.
So where are we at about what, 80?
About 102 Rand a share.
102 Rand a share. And you said embedded value is?
Around 110 Rand
110,
a share.
All right,
yes.
Got it.
So I don't know. The type of policies that they write goes more into the upper end, the white collar consumer. It's not that profitable in that market the way they write policies. They've come up with a new investment product that's grabbing a lot of attention, where you only pay fees if you get a positive return. But
that sounds very good.
Yes, asset managers don't
buy into that philosophy as well.
Sure. But it gets a bit more complex if you get into it. So for me, I think that it's not in the most profitable niche if you look at the upper, middle or lower end market. And therefore, even at a discount, not
This is Bruce Hemphill and his team.
Exactamundo, yeah. Look, I mean, to be frank, this one has been a bit of a dog's breakfast for the last couple of years. Because it had...
I beg your pardon, a dog's breakfast.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's controlled by Standard Bank, and we know the bank assurance model has been a little bit, dodged. So mostly those that have done the bank assurance thing have learned to rue their ways because it doesn't really work, that cross-selling thing between banks and insurers. They own 100% of StanLib now, which has been a bit of a patchy performer. And remember a couple of years ago, as Bruce arrived, he had the idea that they were too equity exposed with regard to their risk exposures. So they put a big hedge in place just as the market went higher. It's kind of worked its way out of the system. But I think if you compare how well Sanlam has done to how rather indifferently Liberty has done as an investment, you've got to acknowledge that this has not been the star performer. They've also lost market share to Liberty, which has been a big, not to Liberty, to Discovery,
we're
which
talking
has
about
been
Liberty,
really
and I didn't know
eating
who
them out there. So, I mean, they're a little bit under pressure. Yes, they've been innovative. They've got the frank.net thing and a few other things going on. So I don't think they're dead or out of it. But I really think
what have they got to do to come back into the mainstream investment space here?
Well, what they have done is really, it is a recovery story at the upper end in the way they manage their capital. What they need to do further is probably access the middle to lower end consumer more, which is probably where the growth is for life insurance. South Africa is very highly penetrated when it comes to life insurance policy sales, especially at the upper end. So growth is going to be at the lower end.
Paul, hot or not on Liberty Holdings?
No, not this one. Even if I was concerned about the sector, this wouldn't be my preferred starting point.
Jean-Pierre, hot or not?
Also not hot for me.